So now we'll learn about the synchronization in Java. So this is one of the important topic that will give you the fair idea how to use the thread with synchronization. So let's first try to understand what is the synchronization in general. So synchronization is the operation or activity of two or more things at the same time or rate. So basically, when two or more things happen at the same time or with the same rate, that is called the synchronization. So for example, like dancing or the parade event of armed forces, okay, all these used to be in very sync because more than one person used to do the same thing in the sync. So that is basically called the synchronization. If they won't be in sync, it won't look good. Now we'll try to understand synchronization in Java. So when more than one thread run in parallel, they should be synchronized. So basically when we want to share the single object with multiple thread, synchronization comes into the picture. So first, let's try to understand the issue. What is the issue without the synchronization we can face, and then how we can solve those issues with the synchronization. So let's get into it. So I will try to create an example and a hypothetical situation. First, I will try to explain the issue we may face without the synchronization, and then we will try to resolve that issue with the help of synchronization. I will create a class demo. It has two variable, int x or y, and it has got a method called int add. It will take two argument, int a comma b. It will assign into x and y into b, and then there will be slip method, thread dot sleep. Please don't go with the syntax, just try to understand the concept first. Catch, exception e, and then maybe below I can put return x plus y, method close, class close. So this is a demo class. So there is a add method which will take two argument and it will return by adding them. Now suppose there are three thread class, thread 1, and it has the demo class object, okay, and it call the demo class object with 10 comma 20. Okay, suppose there is another thread 2, it has also the demo class object. It will also call the d dot add with suppose 100 comma 200, and there is also a thread 3, it has also the demo class object, and it will also call the add method with 1000 and 2000, and this is the demo class object. Suppose this is the demo class object, and all the three thread will share this particular object. So this is the simple situation. There is a class demo, okay, and this is the demo class object. There is three thread class, thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. All these classes will share the same object d, and they will call their method. So we'll go one by one, and here I am just trying to create a pool. As we understood the thread lifecycle in earlier tutorial, Okay, so what will happen? So we'll go one by one. So first, suppose thread 1 has called its start method and it got the cycles of processor and it got executed. Okay, so it called the add method with 10 and 20. X and Y were initiated with 10 and 20, and I'm just trying to explain you a hypothetical situation. So X and Y has been initiated with 10 and 20, and thread.sleep has been executed and it went into the block pool. Okay, so suppose T1 came here. Okay, T1 came into the block pool. So suppose before it will come out from the block pool and execute their rest of instruction, the thread 2 has got the cycles of processor. Okay, and X and Y now has been initiated with 100 and 200, and it also went into the block pool. Suppose now thread 2 was about to come out from the block pool and execute their return statement, but before that, suppose thread 3 has got the cycles of processor and d.add got executed. X and Y has been initiated with 1000 and 2000. Okay, and it went into the block pool. Now T1 came out from the block pool and it got the cycles of processor, and it will execute its remaining statement, and remaining statement was the return x plus 1. So when thread 1 will execute now the value of X and Y is 100 and 2000. Okay, so now when the return x plus Y will be executed, what value it will get? Suppose it will try to the return value in some variable and try to print it. How much it will print? 3000. Now suppose T2 has got the cycles of processor and it went out and it also executed its remaining statement and return x plus y has been executed. It also got the answer 3000, and now T3 got the cycles of processor. It has got executed and now it has also got the answer 3000. So all the thread has got the same answer. You can see that thread 1 has been called with 10 and 20, but the answer thread 1 is getting through the add method is 3000. How it happened? Because it might be possible that if all the threads are sharing the same object, that might be possible. If the thread will go into the block pool, that time they might want to get the cycles of processor, and other thread might get the cycles of processors, and they can execute their statement first and then the other thread will execute their statement. So I just tried to explain you a hypothetical situation that might won't be the case every time, but that may happen. It is not like that won't happen, that may happen. Let me summarize it. I created a object of demo class and I try to share same object with 3 threads. So what happened here? The value was corrupted between the shared thread. Okay, so this might be the situation if you try to share the same object with multiple thread. It might be possible that one thread can corrupt the value of other thread. Okay, so this was the issue, and to overcome this issue they came with a solution that is called synchronization. How to implement the synchronization, how the synchronization will work, that I will explain right now. Before that, let me just try to clean some value. Yes. So till now we understood that if we'll try to share the same object with multiple thread, the value might got corrupt. So now what they did, they make it synchronized. So to make a method synchronized, you have to add a keyword synchronized before the method definition. So to overcome from this situation and to execute these methods in the synchronized way, so they made a rule. First they told us to create the method synchronized, and they told us every method in Java has a implicit lock in it, and that is called the monitor. So every method in Java has a implicit lock in it that is already there. Okay, and that is provided by the JVM to every method. So they made a rule To execute the synchronized method, a thread must have a monitor of that particular object on which it is going to execute that method. What they are trying to say is, like, if, for example, for this class, if any thread would like to execute synchronized method, what they must have? They must have the log of that object on which they are executing that method. It means if thread 1 will try to execute the add method, thread 1 must have the log of the demo object with them, then only they will be able to execute the add method of demo class. Otherwise, if they don't have the monitor of that object with them, they won't be able to execute this method. Very simple. Okay. By the end of this tutorial, you will be able to relate what I am trying to say. So let me explain. So let me run through the synchronized method now. Same scenario what we did earlier, we'll go through the synchronized way as well. So now suppose thread 1 got the cycles of processor and the run method has executed. Now they try to execute the d.add method. But what they need now? The implicit log of this object as well. Now they have got the log also. So they executed the add method. X and Y has been initiated with 10 and 20, and now they went into the block pool. Same time, suppose T2 also got the cycles of processor. What will happen now? T2 also got the cycles of processor and run method of thread 2 got executed and they try to now execute d.add. But they were not able to execute d.add now because they don't have the monitor of that particular object. The monitor of that particular object is still with the thread 1. They went into the block pool, but they kept the monitor of that particular object with them only. So they didn't release the monitor of the object. And as I already told you, to run a synchronized method, you must have the monitor of that particular object on which they are trying to execute that method. So they are trying to execute the method on this object, but the monitor of the object is now with the thread 1. They didn't release the monitor, so they won't be execute the method now. So now what will happen? T1 will complete their sleep time in the block pool and they will come out and then they will execute their remaining statement. So return x plus y will be executed and now the value they will get is 30, and then they will release the cycles of processor and the monitor of the object as well. Now T2 has the cycles of processor. They will also get the monitor of the object and then they will go here and then they will update this method, update this x and y with 100 and 200, and then they will go to the block pool again. Now in meantime, thread 3 has got the cycles of processor. Now they will try to execute this d.add method, but they won't be able to do because the monitor is still with the T2. They can't execute d.add because monitor is still with the thread 2 object and thread 2 object is in the block pool. So now when thread 2 will complete their sleep time in the block pool, they will come into the runnable pool and then they will complete their return statement. And what they will get? Output 300. Now they will release the monitor of the object and also the cycles of processor, and then the thread 3 will execute and thread 3 will go to the block pool and then again they will complete their all the statement and the output will be 3000. Now you can see every thread is getting the expected output through the synchronized method. Okay, so basically I tried to explain you issue that we were facing without the synchronized method, and with the synchronized method we were able to solve that particular issue. So this is a very important concept going ahead. Whenever you will working on the enterprise application, you will see that problem will come a lot of time and you have to solve those problems with the synchronized method. Suppose a situation like online railway ticketing. During the Tatkal time, there are thousands of people are trying to book on the same seat at same time. Okay, so
how to solve all those problems through the synchronize. So now in the next few tutorials, I will try to explain the different case of synchronization. So in the next few tutorial, I will explain with the working code and with the different use cases. So I will see you in the next tutorial.